Hello.
Welcome to the stream, Brittany Fatha.
How you doing, Brittany? I am doing good. Eating the last bit of my food. Hmm. Okay. Food consumed. Bye. Okay. Bye. We'll chat a bit. I don't know. I was about to say I didn't have anything planned tonight. For the most part, I usually don't plan much ahead. Just whatever I feel like playing that night. But I did have that taboo. Okay, whatever. All right. Yeah, that's what I was looking into. Boy, I can share this. Because I was messing around with the TP-Link integration for the smart home, and I noticed they rank tiers for the add-ons. I'll explain those in a minute, but I was kind of curious as to what the fuck that meant. Must fulfill a role in all below. Uh, okay, so bronze is basically the bare minimum for them to be officially added. Builds upon that, improving the reliability and robustness. There's solid runtime experience. Handles errors properly. Handles offline devices. Okay. Huh. The handles offline devices bit, I would have figured would be a requirement period. Weird, it's the next tier up. Huh. Wow, you don't even have to be actively developing. Like, you can submit it, get your bronze, and then ban it. That's stupid. Yeah, this here I thought would have been a requirement for the minimum standard. Apparently not. Okay. Hmm. Well, in my experience, a good amount of things are automatically discovered, with the exception of things that are kind of not built to be. If that makes sense. Like, you get it manually into the IP address of it. Then again, I think like most things on the network are static IPs. Just all my servers are because they have to be. All of the little IoT devices are because easily addressable. Like, I can go in and find the IP of one and ping it, because I also can monitor them through outside of whatever app they're meant to be on. I can ping them every like minute and see if they're alive. The one I was looking at was Platinum tier.
Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body.
Score internal legacy and okay. Interesting. Specifically, they were for Link. Where did I read? Oh yeah, platinum quality. Yeah, anyone who's looking for like smart switches, TP-Link Casa, they're cheap, they're reliable. I've not really had issues with them. But yeah. And then there is Hex, which is all the community add-on shit, and there is a fucking lot. I'm probably missing a repository because there should be more than that. A lot of alarm system integrations. Oh, wow. I saw the 404 and thought there was an error. This, I believe. Yeah. I could essentially get the smart home to the point where, like, if smoke detectors, well, I'd need smart smoke detectors or a way to detect if one of them are going off, because you can do that with, like, a microphone. There are ways, but essentially a smoke detector goes off if you don't silence the alarm within a certain amount of time. Fire's automatically dispatched. It'll, like, call out to 911 and send fire your way. And it's basically a way to use, like, integrated this one. What I currently is not entirely. But it's a way to, if you run like a custom alarm panel, you can set different modes, and then whatever sensors are in Home Assistant, you can tie it to the different modes. Right now, I've only got a garage door, like the actual garage door itself. I need to. One of the things on my list is getting door and window sensors added, so I can monitor that. That way, like in the summer, if anybody opens windows, it just turns off the air conditioner and turns the fan on instead, just automatically. But yeah, that integration is for this, so it can automatically, like, dial out to 911 if the alarm is tripped and not silenced in time. Which, when it does phone out to them, they text you. I believe they text you. If you don't respond to the text, then they call you. If you don't respond to the call, then they dispatch police, which is neat. And as far as I'm aware, it doesn't cost anything. I'd have to go digging into that more. And then add-ons are various things. File editor is just like a local file editor. You can mess around with. That's right. Config files and stuff. Should be in automations. All of the automations configured. Though if I'm doing automations, it's a lot easier to come in here, create new, other than just build it this way. Or if I want, I can directly edit this way, which, depending on what I'm doing, depends on which way I go. But now, if I want to get really fucking complex, don't save. I can go here, and I can get really fucking complex. Okay. How much? There's 10 of 11. But yeah, like, I can device current state, and I can just visual code editor basically is what this is. And I haven't really toyed with it yet, but I have hopes for doing some really neat shit with this. Is this it? No. Here we are. Just a little design. But yeah, like this is the basics of the wiring for thermostat. Still tweaking it a bit. But the idea here is that this little board controls it instead of the thermostat on the wall. Which means we can remove the one on the wall. And what this will give me is, rather than the fucking like this style thermostat, I can program one where there's an upper and lower threshold, and it will operate based on that. So basically, don't get colder than this or warmer than this, and we just set it. So like heat at 68, cool at 71, and never touch it. If it drops below 68, the heater kicks on. If it goes above 71, the air conditioner kicks on. And unless we want to turn the fan on for whatever reason, it stays as is, and we never touch the air conditioner again. The thermostat just exists. But I need this level of control because I'm not sure. I could probably bullshit it by hiding this and just saying like, okay, well, if it dips below this, set the heat to like 90 and turn on this and set it. So set house thermostat to 90 and set the heat mode. And then when it drops below that, just turn it off. And if it goes above, set the AC to like 60 and turn it into cool mode, and just potentially bullshit it that way without having to like wire up a thermostat. But I've got the 4 relay board sitting here, so you know, might as well. Smart door locks would just be one of these wired up to a electronic strike. They're easy enough. Do I have the other project in here? Is it? Yeah, part of it. So the idea here, and this more or less is the garage door controller minus this guy, and running a slightly different chip, ESP8266 over an ESP32. Right now, the only modification between the existing one and this is this board has a little bit more processing power to it, and the temperature and humidity sensor, because it'd be nice to pull that info from the garage as well. But the wiring for this is about as simple as it gets. You put a read sensor, magnetic read sensor on the garage door to know if it's open or closed. And then the relay just ties into the normal like garage door button on the wall. Since our garage door is a little weird, and jumping it directly at the garage door doesn't exactly open it. It's odd. I'm gonna have to figure out how that button functions, because it's kind of breaking. So this might be a little bit more directly wired in the future. Because I believe, so you give the relay power and ground, because it's got like lights on it and all that, indicating it is powered. And then your control input, I've got Blue's control, yes. I think that just gets grounded, so I could just put a push button in here and have that work the garage door. But I need to be able to get the garage door to work with just a straight, like, on-off switch. Because the current one on the wall has a button to turn the light on, a button to open and close the door, and a lock to prevent the button from working. All wired over 2 wires, so there's a little bit of something going on there. And I need to figure out exactly how that damn button works. I'm willing to bet it's probably like a $30 fucking part to replace. At least. Possibly more, given that door is going on maybe 18, 20 years old, something like that. The only other thing I'm probably going to add to this is motion sensor. Do they have any millimeter wave? What do you look like? Sort of. But yeah, I'd use millimeter wave because it's a lot more like these millimeter wave sensors. Motion detection's two ways. Usually, the most common way you still see is passive infrared, which is just basically change in temperature. Change in temperature means person. It's the same thing that uses like anything that uses a badge to like access a building where you just scan a card to enter but don't to exit uses the same sensor, same type of sensor, and taking a can of compressed air, inverting it and blowing it through is enough to trigger those things because change in temperature, they don't know hot from cold, they just know change, and change is person. So they are very easy to trick and also unreliable because I think the Mythbusters did a thing once where you can just hold a like bed sheet up, and as long as your body's not exposed to the sensor, you can just walk right to it. It's honestly kind of crap. And they like once you're in the room, it kind of gets used to the fact that you're there, and then you need to like move around a lot to keep it triggered. Whereas millimeter wave sensors are basically radar based, and it's like any movement, like even some of them claim a heartbeat's enough to like the movement in your chest from a heartbeat's enough to trigger, but breathing is enough. Like if you're sitting there and I can see your chest and you're just breathing, it's going to constantly be triggering, hey, there's motion there. It's crazy. So they're a lot more sensitive and a lot better at tracking. You can also configure zones. Like you can tell, most of them know there's some movement in the room and can tell where that movement is in the room. So it can also, in a way, basic location tracking within its field of view. Up to, I think, 3 objects. So that's a little above and beyond what I would need the garage for. The garage is just, hey, somebody's in there should be a light on. Well, once I get a light sensor outside, hey, there's somebody in the garage, it's dark out, there should be a light on. Which the outside garage light I already have automated, so when I come home from work and it's dark out, the light just turns on if the garage door doesn't open. I can actually show you that. Automation. Yeah. So when any of us return home, and if it's after 5 p.m. and before 8 a.m., I just, fucking ballparked the hours for when it gets dark. And if the side garage light is off, it then sets a delay for 25 seconds. So whenever any of us come home, it's dark out basically, and the light is off, it waits 25 seconds. If the garage door is open, then stop. Otherwise, start the, I think it's a 10 or 15 minute timeout and turn the light on. And after that timer stops, it automatically shuts the light off. So basically, if we come home, it's dark and the light is off, wait 25 seconds. If the garage door is open at that point, turn the light on. And then, if the garage door is open, just stop, don't turn the light on. If the garage door is closed, then turn the light on and start the timer to turn the light off. Yes, I explained that great. But yeah, that's just one of the automations I've got set. So basically, you come home, by the time I'm getting out of the car, like the light's on before I get out of the car. Because the home zone is actually a little bit down the street. Probably from my front porch. 50 to 80 yards down the street. Because the way you just give it a pin and a radius. So I have it set to cover the house since GPS tends to wander a bit. There are also notifications for like when any of us leave work, it notifies the rest. I'm looking at getting more fancy shit to play with. The thing I want to get to next is door control. I can show this off and show products here because it's not gonna fucking dox me like Amazon wants to fucking do. Oh hey, nope, never mind. I didn't remember the order. Just remembered I put this at the front. Thought I put. Damn it, you piece of. Here's an issue remembering some things apparently. Yeah, door strikes. 3-way switch. That's what I need for the inside garage light to work. And just other miscellaneous little like small electronics project stuff. I figured I'd update that. You can do NFC tags. I have one sitting right here, a little NFC sticker that when scanned will open the garage door. Assuming you're signed into the companion app on the phone and connected to this server here. If you scan it, it will open the garage door. Or close it, because dumb garage door don't know the difference. It has an up, a stop, and a down, but realistically, all any of those buttons do is just bridges this. It's no different than you just sitting pushing the button on the wall no matter what button you press on the UI. But it works. Like, I can put it up, I can stop it, I can put it down. Just any of those buttons does that. And then... yeah, this is a great site for... I wish they had a different fucking door contact, but whatever, I don't care. It's good enough. I know what that means. And I can see, like, what pins... And then if you have code and all, you can, like... unable to identify a microcontroller. It's an ESP32 bin. Yes, you can, like... if you're doing it through, like, SketchUp, or not SketchUp, Arduino. Forget what language Arduino is, but you can test, like, Arduino code here. So it does not use Arduino. It uses YAML. So here's the garage door. Basically, API connection key, OTA update stuff, the Wi-Fi, how it knows to connect, like what Wi-Fi network and password it needs to connect. Fallback access point, should it not be able to connect, it will have its own little access point you can connect to reconnect to the network. And then it begins, here's a switch for the door button, wired to pin 5, ID of door button. And restore mode, if power is lost to the board and power comes back, what should it do? What should be the state of this? And it is off. Otherwise, if it was set to on, it'd latch the thing on, and it shouldn't do that because it's only on for like a few seconds. Yeah, here we go, like 100 milliseconds, so a tenth of a second, basically. I believe so. What are you? Oh, that's the door sensor. But yeah, there's a programmable delay for how long the button's held. But always awful and sure if the board like disconnect, loses power and comes back, it doesn't accidentally open the door. Always off is usually a good state, and I believe is the default state. One example would be the thermostat I use to control the air conditioner, which is fucking seized up right now because it's freezing outside and ice built up on the damn thing. But its default state is off whenever the switch reconnects. I think all of TP-Link stuff is the powers are stored at its default off. At least the switches. I don't know if like the light switches themselves, but the plug-in switches do. Yeah, here we are. It's a 0.8 second delay on open, close, and all. So every time that the button is pressed to open the door, it holds the relay latch for 0.8 seconds and then closes it. So that I found was enough to work it. Basically, it's how long you would push the button in at the control lake right by the door into the house.
Get up and stretch, y'all, lazy raccoon.
Oh, cool. Ads. Alright. Why do I have... What? This with it? Whatever. I can close you all out. Yeah. Okay, cool. For a second there, I thought y'all could see all that because of chat. But yeah, been toying around with that. I just got a bunch of 5 thermoresistors, which are basically just a little temperature probe on a wire. Go hold that up. Huh. I'm saying, damn, it's not showing. Oh yeah, I got a pair of calipers as well for measuring these things. I can actually put an enclosure on. Can I get just to the image? Thank you, yeah. What? What else are we gonna? No. Eh. What else? We're gonna. Alright, yeah, I was gonna make my own door and window sensors because probably cheaper that way than buying one. Well, no, it'd still be Wi-Fi based, but more ideally, as old as this thing is, I'm gonna go find you a picture of it. Yeah. Bigger image, I think. I guess I'm not gonna get any bigger.
Be gone, ads.
$600 by $600. Is there nothing bigger? Welcome back. Okay, so these, just a little temperature probe on a wire. It's gonna get wired up to the board, and then a little bit of telling it how to read the temperature, and it mainly to like monitor the fridge and freezer because we got 2 freezers aside from the main one, like built into the fridge freezer in the kitchen. We've got another one in the dining room that's kind of overflowed because for whatever reason we need a lot of freezer space. I don't know. And then a full-size freezer in the basement And these are basically just to monitor that temperature and let us know if it dips below. I also got these, which are adorable little OLED screens for the temperature and humidity sensors that will be throughout the house, in the bedrooms and all. I'm looking to upgrade it to temperature, humidity, CO2, air pollution, carbon monoxide, kind of like a like 6 or 10 in 1 multi-detector. And then put this on it to just basically display like what the current status is. Do I have... I don't think I have that. Oh, wow. And then when it comes to door sensors, the way I would like to have done this, the amount of shit I would have had done, knowing what I know now. And, like, we had this house built fucking 2 decades ago at this point, I believe. Somewhere around there. Yeah, about 20 years ago. Anyway, few changes I would have made. 1. Pot spigot over top the stove would be fucking amazing for cooking. Wired Ethernet throughout the house would have been great. Wired alarm system also would have been great. Mainly, well, both for the alarm for security, but also like door sensing. Knowing if a door or window is open to like automate shit. Wired Ethernet, wired alarm system, pot spigot, mini splits in the bedrooms rather than central air for the entirety of the fucking house. That is insanely inefficient. Especially in my room, since it gets stupid fucking hot in here. But anyway, the Elk M1, despite it being fuck knows how old, this thing is an old alarm system. Like, old as in it still has like the old school fucking style alarm panels that you haven't seen in the past 15-20 years. That old, but it integrates with Home Assistant, and I can read the status of all of the sensors, of which it has 16. Well, 16 zones. So realistically, our front room has 2 windows in it. But both sensors could be tied to a single zone. So it'd be like front room window, front door, dining room window. There's 2 windows in the dining room. 2 windows in the... I think there's like 2 windows, with the exception of the living room. It's got 3 windows in a row. But all 3 of those sensors can be tied to a single zone. So 16 different areas that I can track, and you can get the expansion board to expand another 16 if you need 32. It's also capable, there's an expansion for wireless sensors, which great if you're retrofitting a system in after the house has been built and don't feel like running a bunch of wire. Personally, I'd run wire, it's more reliable. If we're talking strictly from a security perspective, you can't jam wires. You can even put a resistor on the end and measure the resistance of the wire. So if somebody tries to like snip it and short it, it'll detect that and trigger the alarm. So it's pretty tamper-proof once it's wired. Wireless is just susceptible to other bypass methods to disable it. But like, I'd say, I don't know, most 75-80% of the reason why I want door sensing and window sensing is automation shit. Realistically, where we live, don't really see security being a necessity. But it's one of those nice to haves. I'd get a lot more use as a fucking, like, for automation based purposes. And then having an alarm is great too. Again, like carbon monoxide alert, I could have it fire this thing off with a different tone for carbon monoxide versus fire versus whatever. Like I can program the alarm on this thing to go off for whatever, really. I can also read, because I can do a zone as like smoke detectors, but yeah, no, I'd probably do wired smoke detectors given the choice. Wired normally closed, that if the wires get cut or, you know, burned and destroyed, it would trigger the system as well. So if somebody cuts the wire to the smoke detector, trigger the system. What else does this say? Because I know it's got a few other neat features. We've got like aux inputs and all. It's built to run on a battery. It's got like a normal siren and like it says voice siren. It can speak to you. And then a handful of like just dry inputs, so you can have trigger various things, because it's a basic home automation. It's got like very basic stuff in it compared to today's shit. You also tie like your landline and then out to the rest of the phone, because it can like, if you're on the middle of a phone call and the security system trips, it hangs up your call and dials 911 type shit, because it would actually dial out over the phone line, and then pre-recorded stuff would play to the dispatcher. Probably, I don't know, but I'm assuming something to the tone of like, this is an automated alarm system. Alarm has been triggered at this address, or burglar alarm triggered at this address. Or fire, or whatever the alarm, whatever alarm was triggered, and just automated response for dispatch. But as old as it is, it integrates really well with Home Assistant, and still like the go-to alarm system to use for like hardwire shit. Wireless, Simply Safe and Ring and all the others integrate okay. But my complaint is all of those also require internet access to be able to integrate. So if you lose internet, Home Assistant no longer can get the status from the door and window sensors. Like, the less cloud integrated shit in this system, the happier I am. And you can go to device and services, and like Google text to speech requires internet. Hacks is just the like community add-on, requires internet. The thermostat for the house requires internet connection to function. LG, the washer and the fridge requires internet. The radio browser obviously requires internet. One of the reasons why I recommend the TP-Link Casa stuff, it does not require internet. It is like, I can address the switch directly. Like, I can go command line, open up a fucking command line prompt, and hit those switches through the command line and control them if I wanted. Like, they're very local control, and I love TP-Link for that. And they're cheap, they work, and they're local control. You don't need their app really to make them work. This makes it a little bit easier because you can name them in the app, and all when you go to adopt them into the system, they just pop up as what they are. So the less internet connected shit, the better. Also, it's so much fucking faster not having to go through a cloud service. Like, I click a switch and it is instant update. Blech. I could have sworn I had a tab open somewhere for a multi-sensor. Who's given the head pats? Let me see. It might have been on my phone before I passed out last night. Yeah. Alright. I'll go to that. Pull up a tab here for later. 'Cause it's... DIY V4? Yep, okay. So this is what I was looking at. Yeah. What all does this thing do? D1 mini. So particulate matter, basically anything in the air, pollen, dust, smoke, it will pick up. A CO2 sensor, temperature and humidity module. I give you two different options. The only thing it lacks is a carbon monoxide, which is just another sensor tied into the system. You can get a custom printed circuit board to put all these components on and assemble it yourself. Overall cost, including the printed circuit board, I think it's like $75. The CO2 sensors are a little on the pricey side. Like your rough cost breakdown. The particle sensor and the CO2 sensor are the most expensive parts. Like your temperature probes are next to nothing. I think the total cost for like one of my little things that reads just temperature and humidity is like $3 a pop. And yeah, just basic ass fucking wire diagram. And you don't need the circuit board, it just tidies the shit up a lot. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at getting into, making something like this. Yeah, so that gives you air quality, CO2 level, the temperature and humidity all on the little baby OLED display, which are tiny. I did not expect them to be that tiny or come in their own little like plastic housing, like plastic clamshell case. That was a nice surprise. Not as much room in my parts tray as I thought. It takes more than I was expecting. Give me a second, I can snap you all a picture. Yeah, get that out of the way. Actually, yeah, I can picture my new little work area. Well, I'm at it. There we go. And I can send that to myself. I also didn't expect this thermal resistors to keep as much space. Where is me alt account? There you are, hiya, but oh right, yeah, I wanted to fucking smartify the doorbell. That's also on my list of things to do. Actually, I can show you that. Oh, I got a picture of that. Blah. Okay. Oop. Really? Discord, why the fuck did you change how that works? That is Really fucking irritating. You stupid bitch. Okay. But yes. My chair gonna go. Scooch this way. Okay. This is like immediately to my left when I'm sitting at my desk here, because I wanted access to the computer, because a lot of times I'm like referencing wire diagrams and shit that are like on the PC when I'm soldering, so it's like nice to have it right there. But yeah, basic ass little soldering station and one of the little TP-Link wall plugs. And I finally got proper flux paste. I had to order syringes because the one that came with the flux paste was kind of shattered and unusable. But fortunately, these things are like $1 for 3. I think you pay like $1.25 for 3 of them with a cap, so I can like fill one and just cap it and not worry about it. Nice roll of solder. Oh yeah, my nice new carbon fiber fucking calipers. And then there's my microphone and a little bit of the Elgato Wave XLR. Yeah. And then my window. Yeah, here's my little parts container. I guess we'll start up here. Those general fucking power plugs, male and female connectors. DHT 11s, I think. It's a basic dirt cheap fucking temperature humidity sensor. The AHT 20s I use, which are a lot more accurate, and holy fuck are they accurate and quick to update. The little baby OLED screens, they're adorable. ESP32 Micro B style board, ESP32 USB-C style board, ESP8266 Micro Bs. I have, I think, like 8 or 9 of these guys now, because I got 5 of them when I got the thermoresistors. Just because, well, I needed some, and I didn't want to use the like higher processing boards for reading like 2 to 3 temperature probes. It's kind of a waste of what this board can do. And then one of the other boards that has the actual like fucking testing. I don't know what they're called, but I basically have a set of wires that I can just very quickly plug in. It's like the breadboard kind of connectors, so I can prototype things. 5 thermoresistors, which I already showed you what those are. These little guys are the single relays. One of these will control the doorbell itself, the actual dinging portion of the bell, and then I just wired that up in the switch to one of these, and then you push a switch, Home Assistant knows it was pushed, opens the relay, rings the bell. At that point, I can also, like, between these hours, disable the chime and just send a push notification to the phone instead. That way, when people are sleeping, if somebody decides to ring the doorbell, it don't wake everybody up. My little 4-relay board, this is basically 1/2 of the thermostat. One of these and one of these equals thermostat. These are actually leftovers because I got 4 of them because I couldn't order only 2. They are little like 1/8 headphone jacks, because the headphones I use are like over-the-ear shooting muffs are the best way to describe these things, with speakers in them. Like, they do a great job at reducing external noise. If I remember right, they were made by a drummer for studio, so they could like both hearing protection and be able to hear a click track and everything. And they're fucking great. I got them back when I was at trade school, probably 10 years ago, coming up on 10 years ago, and they are still serving me well. The cable died, and rather than, you know, cracking them open, soldering a new cable to it, and doing that again when the cable dies, I modded them and stuck these in the ear cuff portion, So I can just, you know, get one of like a detachable cable every time it breaks and just replace the cable, not have to solder anything. And it's fucking great. I already had to replace the cable once beyond doing this mod. It's wonderful. And then a bunch of breadboards I got from my electronics teacher back in high school because they didn't use this style anymore. So he's like, here, yeah, you can have them. I'm like, awesome. I will definitely use these outside of class. So I keep those also for like prototyping things. I'll probably end up putting the part that came with, so it came with a few different things. It came with this one that's kind of like a female end. There's a male end that allows me to connect it to a breadboard. I'll probably put that on one of the 8266, just the prototype. I can't really do it with this because the way this is built, all of these are connected to each other. So if I plug something in here and plug something in here, they are connected together. The idea is like positive and negative power rail down the side. And then all of these are connected, like these 5 on each row are connected to each other. And same on this side. And due to the way the ESP32s are, there's 2 rows of contacts on it because it's got more input, more IO as well. So I can't exactly use that with the breadboards, sadly. So that's why this one's got this setup. This, on the other hand, only has like the 1 row instead of the like side-by-side row. So this guy, I can make one and just slap on the board and test away. But yeah, this is one. I have another one that's just all fucking wire. All of like these parts that came with the boards. A bunch of breadboard wires. Some resistors. Other small part. Like this is more or less the logic side of things. The other is more wire. And yes. But that is my little bin of small electronics shit. So later, sometime this week, I will build the ones for the fridge and freezer, get them up and running. But just a lot of toying around with like what all I can fucking automate. Let me see. Do I have garage sensor garage? Fuck it. Let's go new. Continue without saving because I didn't change anything. File. Save. I'm going to call my project doorbell. Confirm. Alrighty. Yeah, 266 for the garage door would be more than fucking sufficient. Anything more is just fucking overkill. 8266. D1 mini. Damn it, give me what I'm fucking... Just want that damn... There's an ESP32 mini. Actually, I'll drag you and I'll show you all the comparison once I find the damn... Do I really? Yeah, okay, there we are. Yeah, that's about the size comparison too. Tiny. But yeah, the like 2 rows of IO versus a single row of IO. Like if the multi-sensor will use this just due to the sheer volume of sensors that are going to be attached to the thing. Just a generic. You know what? I'll see if it has a doorbell. Not really. Okay, I'm gonna sit up because I better see the fucking modules and shit. Not really. I don't know why I get rain sensor when I search doorbell, but you know. Whatever. How about bell? Can I get like a nice fancy looking bell? No. Generic ass buzzer it is for the doorbell, and generic ass button. Generic ass push button. Sure. Sure. Alright. Excuse me, where did my buzzer go? Damn it, you. Hey. Anything else? Sure. That works. Well, does it ever? Probably doesn't. Oh, it does. Use the right component for what it technically is. Anyway. Oh, that's gorgeous. Never mind, I found better. Something like that. And you know what? I'll just use the generic one. And we're just gonna ignore that side. Okay, so this loop. Let's build this loop. Rotate. Cool, it's smart enough to know where I'm going with this. Okay. What color? Purple? No, we're gonna have you be red. 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 And then normally open. Red. Boom. That is the doorbell. Then our button gets wired up ground. Dude, fuck if I know D1. Sure. D2 can be, we'll do, sure, yellow for data. Why not? I think that's a 5-volt. So it gets the nice fucking red. And it also needs ground. Oh, there we go. That's the basic smart doorbell. The only modification I might make, which may not be initially, would be something like this, which would also yes. Sure. Hold up. Pull it off of there. Oh, that's so stupid. Whatever. There. I think I got that right. Black, please. So let's see. From the transformer. Oh, this wire ain't right. Well, no. That wire ain't right. But yes, I can pull common off of common. Like that. Because that will be from the transformer to the board. And then, actually, yeah, due to how the doorbell's wired, I can pull off of there. Like so. So from the transformer, I've got power to the converter, back to ground. And then ground gets to go to fucking ground. If I drag you, cool, I can just drag you sideways. Yeah, that works. Ground to ground. Alright. Sure. I see a lot of 3.3 volt count. Are you actually just a straight up 3.3? And there's a. Huh. I'm trying to find out if I could power it off of that 5. Oh, yeah, no, it says USB. Yeah. I think I can just provide a straight up 5 volt. I think that's just a 5 volt rail right off of the fucking USB. Because you can power it off of the USB port. Is this what I want? Yeah, I'm not going to support you 5 volts. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll just take the buck converter directly into the fucking 5 volt. Hell yeah. I want to make sure before I do that, I don't fry the fucking board by mistake. So yeah, you can just boop, 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 boop. You're right into the fucking 5 volt. Fucking gorgeous. There you go. Smart doorbell. Dumb doorbell turned smart. For simple, I'll show you what. Oh, der. Now, whether it's 12 or 24 volt coming off the transformer, I don't know. I'm going to show you the very basics of how this thing is set up. Otherwise. So we have a transformer in the basement that sits right next to the sits in the basement next to the breaker. Is, let's see here. Wired something. Something along the lines of like this. Is more or less how the bell is wired, except the only difference is this okay, I understand now. I was still fairly new to using this. Motherfucker. Drag. Okay, so something more or less like this. This sits in the basement. This sits more or less like in the hallway, the front hallway, which is where the actual doorbell is. And then you have the push button that's up front on the front door. Now there's a 2-wire cable coming into where the doorbell is. This section just has a wire nut on it. This section is wired up to the doorbell, and then another 2-wire cable down to the transformer. I'm taking this setup and turning it into this setup, where I'm basically cutting here and wiring in the smart control. Now I am pulling power off of the transformer from the basement to power the doorbell, which just runs through this relay, which allows 5-volt signal to control the 12 or 24 volt. I am then taking some of that power from the transformer, stepping it down to 5 volt to drive the board, so I don't have to run a USB cable up to it or power it any other way. I'm then taking the wire that comes from the front door and wiring it into the board. So as it sits, it can function just like this, where you push the button, it rings a bell, no problem. Doesn't need, I can program it to not need internet for that. But without a network connection or connection to the server at all, I can still program it to run locally. As long as the board has power, it functions. But that doesn't let me, sever this connection or cut this part here out. Drag you up a hair. Doesn't let me sever the connection here. So if I want to disable the doorbell itself during certain hours while people are sleeping, that's needs control through Home Assistant then. So basically, button is pushed, board sends signal to server, server then says, hey, this button was pushed, open this relay and ring the bell. And it's essentially how this thing's going to be working. That also allows me to cut this, or also send a push notification to all of our phones that, hey, somebody rang the doorbell. You might want to go check that. And all of this done for, I think, the converter's like $5? Question mark. I'm not 100% sure on the that thing's price. If it's more, up to $10. So realistically, $15 in parts, so you can turn a dumb doorbell smart. Give yourself the ability to disable the chime when you want, and get push notifications to your phone when someone's at your front door. Or I think the next cheapest option is like $40 for a Wi-Fi doorbell, which, granted, you do get camera with it. But the doorbell I need's like $120 for the cheapest. That's because fine. Yes, you. We'll come here. What? The fuck are you? Oh shit, it's got an optical zoom. Interesting camera. Oh, I can't even fucking do license plate reading. That's neat. Anyway, yeah, here's our router. What this lets me do is I can slap a hard drive in there and I can record any camera on the network direct to that. And as far as I can tell, none of the video doorbells support the FOIA format other than their doorbells. Go figure. But most of the video doorbells I've been looking at, if you want to keep more than some of them, if you want to store footage at all other than just real-time viewing, you have to pay a monthly subscription, and fuck that. But yeah, so this is, I can get it cheaper than that. They're like $120 on fucking eBay, give or take, used. But it's got a camera, a nice big button for the doorbell, a little screen, and what's neat is it's got a little courtesy light that can light up the porch a bit too. The newer version, G4 Doorbell Pro, sure. Besides from the price, it's got the same feature, you know. This one actually requires Ethernet run to it. The other one can run off of the existing. Where are you? It's you. It can run off of the existing setup. You wire it here, and it gets power through the transformer and can still control the existing doorbell. This one don't do that, but it's got a package camera too, so it can keep an eye on your package as well. But it comes at a fucking premium, so not too keen on this particular one. Plus, wiring the cable's gonna be a bitch. What's a Wi-Fi variant? Do they still have a? Oh yeah, no, they do. Okay, yeah, I can get the one that wires up to the existing doorbell contacts. Good, because that's a lot easier to fucking deal with. Oh. Yeah. Still, that hurts a little. Considering I can get the older version for 120 used, and it gives me the camera and the smart doorbell features. I can tie that into Home Assistant as well and get notified when the doorbell's pushed. So the Unify app would already do that, so it's pointless. But can be done. I can also have it like flashlights when the bell's rung or whatever. Depending on the TV, I have to find out how to do notifications on the TV, but have a little pop-up like, hey, somebody's at the front door, as if the doorbell and the phone notification won't be enough. But yeah. I'm going to I think I might. I can't show Amazon because Amazon likes to tell you the city I'm in. That's stupid. I should say more town, but bleh. How much are these guys? $8 for 5. That's not bad. Yeah, little baby buck converters. 12 24 volt in one side, 5 volt out the other. adorable little package. So probably it'll end up. I have to go see, what are you? 12 slash 30, 12, 24 to 5. Yeah, that'd work. But what that allow me to do is also the door controllers. The I can also show you those because I have that also in my cart. Give me a sec. Well, not in my cart, but save for later. Maybe in my cart. Oh, in my cart. But do you have an image of this actually fucking installed? We do not. Please hold. I'm going to go to user ratings and hope they do. Rotate your damn camera, buddy. And you know what? Good enough. I'll take that. Not like you give me much else a choice. Well, I found a user image. Okay. Door strike. Installed door strike right here, basically. That. And the way this works is this little latch here, this little metal piece here, this little guy is solenoid driven. Like, it can be rigid like that, or it can be loose and kind of like flap down. So your door closes normally, the latch gets pushed in and is in your normal spot. Where it gets smart is that part that can be driven by the solenoid just gets loose, and you can just basically, when it's powered, you just push the door open, and this little piece just gets pushed aside and allows you to open it without having to twist the doorknob. And that's the very, very basics of how this works. And then however the fuck you want to power it is entirely up to you. I can show you the Goodies product line. It's, yeah, door access. It's fun. Yes. So to control that, you need one of 4 devices. You can get the Door Hub Mini, which would require one of their readers. What? I need a reader if I use the app? Oh. I don't think I'd need the reader if I use the app to unlock the door. I never thought of that. Anyway, the old version, or this guy, which is the card reader built into it. This little guy is great because they finally released something that's not, $300-400 to fucking start. But yeah, you just give it Ethernet. You can power it over Ethernet, PoE Plus, which is fucking great. And then you have a 12-volt out to the door strike. So you wire it directly to the door strike, and then give it PoE with an Ethernet cable, which gives it network 2. And then you can use NFC cards to like grant family access, or if you have like a dog sitter, house sitter, whatever, you can grant them access for certain hours. Like, here's your card, this is your key card. And you can use the app to control when they have access. Which, down the road, this is what I want to do. Realistically, money's not an option. Type it down the road. It would be the Reader Pro on the outside of the door for all the outside, like the front door and the side garage door gets the Reader Pro because it's got a doorbell feature, a camera, a light to light up the area, and the NFC reader built in. And then inside garage door could just be the generic ass little non-fancy reader that's nothing more than this guy minus the local control of the door strike. Actually, hell, I'd probably just fucking use this, because then I wouldn't need the door hub to control the damn... Yeah, so no. This one on the inside garage door, I'd need 2 of these. Wait, yeah, one for the front door, one for the outside garage door, and then 2 of the... It gets very expensive very fast to do it the fancy way. Or, the $25 for the door strike, plus the $3 for the D1 Mini, and Home Assistant. I'm working on a way to use card readers and grant privilege that way through Home Assistant. Basically, this system for... Yeah, we'll call it that. We'll call it the Broke Boys Unify Access Door Control. It just won't have the fancy camera and shit with it. But some of the neat new things, I've got fucking intercom viewers, so you can now do like wire up an apartment because they have a like straight up fucking intercom. Come on, load. Yeah, intercom with a directory and everything, and then you can call that person or bring up the room number, or if you like live there, you can just scan your card and access the building. And you can give all of the residents get like an intercom viewer so they can see, and like two-way video communicate. One-way video communication. You can basically see who's at the door, talk to them, and then choose whether or not to let them in. Like, the ubiquity's come such a far way, pretty fucking quick in what they offer. And they're branching out and becoming like true enterprise grade as well. Oh yeah, here we go. Enterprise Access Hub. If you want to, you know, this is eight doors in one. This would be more of like office building type of shit, or apartment complex maybe. If you do like individual scan to enter your door, realistically, this is more enterprise, like office building, warehouse maybe, warehouse. But yeah. But this is on the list of things I'd like to get, at least for the outside garage door. Then I can at least get in the garage if I forget keys and have phone. Which means I could probably power the USB 32 so I have 5 volt as well. Sweet. That's really nice. But yeah, so there's two ways. Well, realistically, it's the same way to do NFC door access with Home Assistant. You have two parts. You have the NFC tag and the tag reader. The way the exterior garage door is going to work is with the NFC tag's going to be stuck on the house, and you're going to scan it with your device to open the garage door. The device needs to be signed into... needs to have the Home Assistant companion app on the phone and be signed into my server to be able to open the door. Anyone can scan the tag, read the tag. The tag don't mean shit unless you're connected to the server and signed in. So security-wise, nobody's getting in the house without first cracking the Wi-Fi. Good luck with that. It is a random ass 16-bit password. I don't know the Wi-Fi password off the top of my head. I don't know any of my passwords. Like, I don't know. I know a few of my passwords. The rest, yeah, I have a password manager for a reason. But yeah, one way is the tag is stuck somewhere and you scan it with a device, and that's how you open or fire off automations. One of which would just be like unlock the latch for 30 seconds and then push the latch and in the house you go. I'm trying to find the NFC reader so I can show you that. Option B. Here we are. Found them. While I'm at it, I can go pull up some YouTube video of something neat that's also... This is more convincing the actual homeowner here to do a thing. For my bullshit excuses, oh, it'll the home value, but realistically, yes, it will. But yeah, so the other option is an NFC tag reader. Wire this up to one of the little ESP devices, and then you hand out the cards and have the cards scanned. Because as far as it's considered, when this card is scanned, do this automation. In this case, the automation is unlock a door. The downside to this is actually less secure. because anybody can clone this tag. Anybody can clone a tag. It's not that hard. My phone's set up to clone tags. Sticking the sticker on the door and requiring you to have your phone to open it. The only way that door is going to open when you scan that tag is if you are connected to my server. Be it through the internet or whatever, you need to be signed into my Home Assistant server for that tag to actually do anything. Go ahead, clone it. I don't care. You have a useless tag. It doesn't do anything until you sign it. This method, on the other hand, this reader is always connected to Home Assistant waiting for a tag to be read. When a tag is read, same deal, the phone, except this time, instead of having the tag mounted to the wall and you carrying your phone around, it's like you mount your phone to the wall and carry the tag around.
Get up and stretch, y'all, lazy raccoon.
This, anytime that tag, oh, that's wonderful timing. You know what? I need to refill my water. I'll come back to this in a second. But my water is right here. Boy. Stupid ads. Oh, right. SDA also great. Well, it's not like I'm building that in. That'd have to be the one on the wall in the garage. Okay. How do we wait for the ads to end? Because Twitch is a bitch and forces me to run ads. So I don't want anyone to miss out on this in case they're interested in poor man's NFC door access. Like, it's great for house sitting, letting family, like grandparents or parents, have access to your house, apartment, whatever. I guess you'd have to own the property, because I doubt the landlord would be too pleased with you, carving out a hole for the fucking door strike. But realistically, like, this reading method and the tag method, it doesn't have to be a door strike. That's just how I'm opting to do it, because it's a lot fucking cheaper. If you get like a smart doorbell, or not doorbell, smart like lock, like there are plenty of like smart locks that are Wi-Fi enabled that you can just pop the door off and put on. I don't know how keen the landlord would be if you swapping locks, but I suppose as long as you key it to the master key, which that would be something to talk to them about, have them key it, or whatever, it's doable. I have a feeling that'd be a little more reasonable, assuming you don't already have a Wi-Fi smart lock. But same concept. Home Assistant would just unlock the smart lock. But in my case, I think the cheapest I found that was like any level of reliable was $80 per lock. Whereas the door strike method is only $25 per door strike. I've got a bunch of 12-volt power supplies sitting fuck knows where in a box somewhere. I have an idea as to where they are. So, replacing the doorknob with a smart lock would
be gone ads.
Welcome back. Replacing the doorknob itself with a smart lock would be the more aesthetic option. The cheapest option isn't as visually pleasing, at least on the inside, but it's a fraction of the fucking cost. Welcome back. But yes, if the tag is on the house and you use your phone to scan it to unlock doors, anybody can clone the tag. The tag is useless without the reader. And since the reader's on your person and the reader needs signed into the Home Assistant, not really going to do anyone any good. It's cloning your tag on the wall. If you put the reader built into the wall and hand someone a tag, well, now this reader's constantly signed into Home Assistant. If somebody clones this tag, congratulations, they can now scan that tag and get access to your house. So for that reason, this method's a little less secure. it's you're susceptible to badge cloning this way. So, you know, someone wants to gain access, all they have to do is get close to you, scan this tag and clone it, and they can get in. Now, the other method, using your phone to grant access and scanning the tag and using the phone signed into Home Assistant to unlock it, is more secure to an extent. So you can, you know, the reason why I would opt for this method, one, nobody's going to clone my fucking card to get into my house, and two, I wouldn't even be using a card for myself. I'd just be using my phone, and on my home screen, swipe to the left, push a button, unlock the door. Kind of like how I have access, swipe to the left, push a button, open the garage door type of deal. I wouldn't be using this. This would be strictly guest access. But you can also give guest access through the sticker on the wall and having the phone scan it. But in doing so, one, you're granting them access to all of your smart home that way. And, like, who's to say they don't just, oh, well, here's my login info. And then anybody who they give that to can also get in the house. Granted, they would have to willingly give that info away, so, you know, as long as you trust the person you're creating a login account for, giving an account to, is trustworthy, the security's not an issue. But it all basically comes down to, like, how you want to do it. This way, I don't need everybody signed in that wants to come into the house that needs access. They just scan the card and come in. I can also revoke privileges on the card too. Like, okay, I only want you to have access this weekend. I give you access for the weekend, and then I disable that card's automation to unlock the locks. Cool. You're not allowed to have access. Why are you scanning that? It won't do anything because the automation's turned off. I actually have, I think it's under helpers. Yeah. I made a dumb switch. Like, this switch does nothing physically. It is strictly a hardware switch that I can turn on and off. Which, in conjunction with, I think I have, or maybe I didn't start it. Oh yeah, I can come back to the quests, but basically it's whenever, that was my grandmother, whenever grandma's tag is scanned, and if that switch is on, then unlock the door. If that switch is off in the tag scan, it does nothing. She can come and scan it all she wants. The automation won't fire because that switch ain't turned on. And to turn a switch on, you need access to my Home Assistant and sign into the server. Thus gets me back to a level of security. If you only have access when I say you have access. Clone the tag, clone the card, I don't care. You'll have to know you have access to get in here. So, for that reason, yeah, I can do card scanning. And Ubiquity does the same thing. You can schedule it like business hours are 9 to 5. Employees have access to the building from like 8 to 6. If they scan the card, they have access. Outside those hours, these employees don't have access. The manager, though, the manager gets access at like 7 a.m. to come in and set things up. Like, it's configurable within Ubiquity's stuff to do that. But yes, now my quest. Home Assistant actually has a companion app for Quest, which I did not know. But now there's a few things. Base station's auto on. The in use is the proxy sensor in the headset, so it knows when it's on my head and when it's not. So when I put the headset on, it is in use. And if the VR is off, VR is just the switch for the base stations because they're on a smart, well, it's a 6-port smart power strip. Each one of the 6 plugs on the power strip is smart controlled. So it's like switch 1 and 2 is base station, the 2 base stations. So whenever the headset turns on and I put it on, and if the base stations are off, turn the base stations on. and clear out the timer, or reset the timer. Because I think it's a 10 or 15 minute timer, which I'll get to in a second. But this resets the timer that shuts the base stations off. Now, to do that, base station power off, whenever that timer finishes, turn the base stations off. That was... Right. Oh, that actually doesn't need to be there. I'll leave it. It won't hurt anything it being there. Just no. So yeah, when the timer's finished, turn them off. Space station power off. So yeah, here it is. When the in use is turned off, it starts that 15-minute timer. When that 15-minute timer expires, turn off VR. If the headset is put back on, and if the countdown is active, cancel to reset the countdown. So I can take the headset off. Basically, the headset's on and the VR base stations are off. It'll turn the VR base stations on. If I take the headset off, anytime I take the headset off, it starts a 15-minute countdown timer. If I put the headset back on, and the timer is active, it resets that timer and stops it. So it's back to the 15 minutes. If that timer expires, it shuts the headset, or shuts the base stations down. So base stations instantly turn on basically as soon as the headset connects to the network, which usually the base stations are on and powered up before I'm even ready to open Steam VR Link. It's fucking great. I don't need to yell at Google for that anymore. And then 15 minutes after I take the headset, it shuts off. And that's if I take the headset off to run and grab a drink or something. It's not constantly shutting the base stations down and turning them on. And then the biggest fucking one that has been nice is this. When the battery state on the Quest changes from any state to discharging, so it can be charged, charging, or whatever, it goes from any other state to discharging, send a notification to the headset, and text-to-speech on my clock, change headset battery. So it gives me a little chime and tells me to change the battery on the Google device that's like right by my head because it's also my alarm clock. So no more constantly looking at what time it is to see if I have to change a headset battery or not. I just get notified whenever the battery stops charging the headset. Well, whenever the headset stops charging, I should say. So that's all automated. Actually, I can show you all of the fucking settings that thing has. Is it here? Mobile app. Here we are. 74 entity. Okay. Oh boy. So, what is exposed to Home Assistant from the Quest? Whether or not there's how many active notifications there are, the app importance, like the order in which they are, inactive apps, app memory, app transmit and receive by the gigabyte, standby bucket, what audio mode, the battery health, the battery level, battery power, battery state, battery temperature, beacon monitor, Bluetooth transmitter, Bluetooth connection, Bluetooth state, the charger type, the current time zone, the current version of the Quest OS, whether the device is locked, whether the device is secure, whether the do not disturb sensor is on, whether it's in doze mode, It's external storage, headphones, hotspot state, in use, interactive. It's internal storage level. It's IPv6 address, whether or not it's charging, whether the keyguard is locked, keyguard secure, last notification, last reboot, last removed notification, last update trigger, last used app, media session, mic muted, mic active, or music active, the network type, when the next alarm is, what the OS version is, whether or not it's in power save, the public IP address, the remaining charge time, ringer mode, screen brightness, screen off timeout. Can I adjust the screen brightness? I could probably adjust the screen brightness through Home Assist. Okay. I'd have to fuck with that at some point. Screen off timeout. Oh, hi. I might have to fuck with that. Disable it. Screen orientation, rotation, security pad. There's a lot of fucking things I have access to. Wi-Fi connection, the frequency it's at, the IP address it has, link speed, the signal strength, its Wi-Fi state. What actually, realistically, the Wi-Fi state changes off, it loses access to all of these sensors. But yeah, I can read a lot of fucking information off the Quest, and then automate whatever the fuck I want with it. Right now, the two biggest things are the base station's on and off. Like that's been nice, but notifying at the battery has been about almost a year in the making now. That I've been wanting that for some reason. They don't do it. Like it'll make a chime, but the headset and the battery make a chime when it starts charging or is plugged in, but not when it gets unplugged or stops charging. No, we won't let you know that. That's not important information. We'll let you know when it gets to 20%. But at that point, the battery's going to charge. It's going to suck the battery dry a lot faster. The other battery's not going to be fully charged by the time that one's dead. And that battery gets fucking hot. Like uncomfortable to hold levels of hot. But yeah, I thought it was under specific quests, but now it's just mobile device is what it shows up as. Actually, I wonder if there's... I'm just gonna straight up Google this, and you know, we can all find out together. Is there... Steam. Okay, so it's the same as the Twitch integration. Home Assistant can tell me whether or not certain friends are online. Dude, can it... What is exposed? You need a free API key to use a platform. Find a 64-bit Steam ID. You can check blah, blah, blah. Friends list must be public. This just tells me offline or online, or does it give me the game as well? If it gives me the game as well, that'd be really fucking neat. Hey, this user is playing this game. Like, I can set notifications. Let me know when someone starts playing VR chat. I get notified when my friends list starts playing VR chat. I get notified over the Google Home device. That'd be a pain in the ass to set up and kind of pointless because I just always have it up anyway. I can see who all's online and playing what. I don't need Google yelling at me for that. I was just curious as to like what all it had, and apparently the only integration it's got is, hey, friends are online or not. Steam integration set up and working, even though oh, well, this answers that. The game. Okay, so it looks like I can get the game someone's playing, when they were last online, and their current status is online, offline. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, no, that's straight up the Steam integration. Oh, okay. I have to set that up on a per fucking. I don't know how I feel about that. It looks like I've got to enter a sensor for each person for each game I want to track. Or what? No. Okay, so each person, if I want to know last online, I have to have a sensor for states.sensor.steam_user dot last online dot current status dot attributes dot game. So I have to have a separate sensor entry for each user for each attribute I want to track. Which I guess in a way I can just, list all of them. That'd be a pain. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care for like I got a bunch of people on my Steam list server. There's only a few select ones I'd care to have notifications for. So this way I guess is better, less clutter. So okay, I understand why they did it this way, I guess. I'm curious. Let's do what? All right. They got door and window sensors. We've got smart plug, flood detectors. I guess that's one way to wire up a dimmer switch. Personally, you're probably about the same price. Just get the fucking wait a minute. Did that bullshit those that way? I'm just worried that it is like a fourth way fucking switch. That might actually be the better option for the three-way switches. Alright, that might work. Okay, well, to Amazon. I'm going to go look at something real quick because some of the switches in the house, for whatever stupid reason, they decided they needed 4 switches for the same light. So I'm going to see if one of these little guys could just be wired in as another control switch and save me a lot of fucking money in the long run. Oh, it's tiny. It's so cute. I have to show you, but it's adorable. It's a cute little switch. That's enough to shove in a socket. Ideal size would be a lot smaller, like a quarter of that size, but I get what you're shoving in there, so that is more ideal than the older generation, which is still pretty small. Wait, what? That would work. The old that version at least. Okay. Shelly relay, three-way. Okay, so this is how the old one worked. This one, power comes in, goes into the switch, goes through the relay. Oh no, you're simply a. You have a three-way. Yeah, you can say. Okay, don't help a whole lot. Three. Alright. Hmm. Hmm.
Messing with my head again. You had your heart set on me, but these feels they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me why.
There we go.
Things about you that I can't
That's what I need.
but you're breaking down my walls again, just to set me free. Why do I, baby? Why do I love the way you are? We always leave me.
Why? So we're turning the switches into dumb switches. That's fine. I only need one relay for.
Staying up when I go out. You
Install that to fix.
yours. But when I say what's that about, you start slurring your words. Tell me why you have to seem so.
Whatever, this is more or less the wiring diagram I needed.
Your fingertips are drifting away.
I'll dig into that later.
Love how it hurts. Why do
That should give me what I need to be able to smart some of these other ones for fractionally cost.
love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby? Why do I love the way?
But yes,
Why do I, baby?
yeah, is what time? 11:35. I'm going to wrap it up here. It's the day. I'll be back Thursday. Yes, Thursday.
Never love the feeling.
So thank you all for sticking around. I'm gonna go raid someone. Maybe. Who am I following? Who all is live? Ooh. Okay, I will rate Snow. Join the raid, get them bonus channel points. They're gonna go raid Snow. This is.
I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting